My name is Diana Mochache. I'm a senior principal magistrate and in charge of chancellor courts. My work actually entails administration, normal administration of this court, and also hearing disputes in court. That is to say, my work is both judicial and quasi-judicial. When I'm doing judicial work, I sit in court to hear cases. Quasi-judicial is when I do the running of the station, ensure that the court is smoothly running, the staff are happy, members of the public are able to access the court and leave when they are satisfied. Under the National Council on Administration of Justice, which establishes court users committee, the head of station is supposed to be the chair of the CUC, so I am the chair of the Shanzu CUC. Basically, if you recall, before, prior to the promulgation of the Constitution, there was this notion that courts were unreachable, magistrates and judges were untouchable, that we had the utadu kind of attitude. So the establishment of the CUC was meant to ensure that courts get feedback from members of the public, whether it's positive or negative. So the magistrate is just the chair, but basically the other court users are the ones who are like the arrows pointing outwards. So they come to court, get information from the court users, that is the accused persons, the complainants, even the advocates who come to us, the police officers and the prisons officers. Now, when we sit as CUC, they bring information as how we are operating. Feedback also from the CUC will come from the police. They will tell us, for example, these cases of preparation to commit a felony. It's a simple case. Someone was found with a panga, preparation to commit a felony. So initially, I just used to say, these are petty offenses, bond of 5,000. But the police called me and told me, look, these are actually armed guns. These are serious criminal youth. Now, if you do not take care, these are the people who are going to spiral into terrorists. So I got a volunteer who I had jailed for drug trafficking, and he had now rehabilitated fully. Now he sits with me in court. Now he can be able to profile for me because he had abused drugs for 12 years. He knows this one is doing heroin, this one is doing bangi, this one is just doing mogoka, and this one is doing alcohol. So actually I've seen him out here. So when I call out an accused person's name, he gets hold of him. If it's heroin, he knows. They usually have wounds. If it's bangi, there'll be evidence on the lips, there'll be evidence on the fingers, there'll be evidence in the eyes. If it's alcohol, you can see like the guy I've just called out in court, he was literally trembling. So he says it is just changa. So we profile them according to the drugs they are abusing. So if it's heroin, there is no negotiation. Depending on the number of years the person has done, we must take for rehabilitation for 6 months. I've also inquired from doctors. They've told me a person who's doing drugs, after 6 months of rehab, he should be off the drugs.
Number 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 4. Number 4, profile number 4. Angalia number 4. Number 4. Nani wengine? Hebu niangalie huko mimi. Yes. That one is positive for heroin. Now, flag that one for number 8 for rehabilitation. So rehabilitation and bangi, they go to prison. Then I've also come up with an order, my own innovation. Now this order is attached to the warrant of the accused person. So the order states the officer in charge to take this person to Kisauni clinic for testing and to commence methadone treatment. If it's bangi, he should be taken for detoxification. So they are taken every morning. Now I'm looking for an NGO to help me get armbands written on rehab. So when they go to prison, they'll be going with an armband, a luminous armband, indicated here, or something that you can pin on the back. Wherever they are, it is indicated on their backs, rehab, so that they are not overpunished, so that they are taken as patients in there. Because if I had a rehabilitation center, I would not take them to prison. But because I do not have one, and they are going back home to rest,
I have to take them somewhere, and that is prison. Unfortunate, but it's working for me. And as I'm talking to you now, there is a medical doctor we've taken back to Coast General Hospital. He had abused drugs for 4 years. There is an A student, that one I took him in for 12 months. A student who refused to go and do medicine. He came to visit the uncle and started doing drugs. I have fully rehabilitated. He has gotten as a sponsor. He's gone now to college. He's doing land economics. So small steps, but it is working. I'm working with Muhuri and currently with Mewa. There is outreach also, which has, I'm not familiarized myself with them, but they've come and given us talks during one of the Muhuri sponsored CUC. Sometimes the CUC money may come late, and then, or sometimes the funds are not sufficient because ours is a very vibrant CUC. Muhuri has been coming in now. In fact, they have sponsored 2 of our CUCs. We returned the judicial money. Yeah, we returned the judicial money because it came late. So Muhuri has sponsored 2. You know why? Because Muhuri is interested in fighting terrorism and also fighting for human rights. So as a magistrate, I sit here and I tell the ATPU officers, if you bring me any person who you have tortured, I will reject the evidence. So now Muhuri comes in to talk to the magistrates, the officers, and even the legal paralegal team on the rights of the offender. Specifically, the offender who is charged with a city matter, counterterrorism. You know, people are labeled as really terrorists. But under the Constitution, this person is innocent until proven guilty. Now, that information was lacking, was wanting. Now, Muhuri has come in and together with our CUC members, especially the CID, the police, they've been able to disseminate that information, talking about the rights of the offender and even the rights of the victim, and generally what can we do to ensure that we eradicate terrorism within the region. They are targeting, the youth in particular, because according to me, and it is the youth who are more vulnerable. And because they are using drugs, they are an attraction to terrorists. Muhuri is also interested in the defilement cases. Now, we had 400 cases of children below 17 who have been defiled. So that is 2016 when I came here. The backlog was so much. So every 2 months, I dedicate 1 week for nothing but children's cases. Now, bringing a lot of children, like 300 here, they go hungry. Muhuri comes in with water, soda, cakes, biscuits, and they help us feed the kids. Sometimes bringing in sanitary pads for the girls. Nobody ever realizes this girl may be having her bad month. So Muhuri comes in there, and because I cannot use my salary, I will not have anything to feed my family. So they actually come in to assist us. Now the changes that I've brought, that is one of the major changes. Because I'm able to be able to feed a large number of children, I'm able to call on Muhuri to help me feed them. So every 2 months, I hold a service week. And then when I came here, there was only this building. But you can see that small building over there, Court 2. That one I've constructed with CUC. Court users gave me donations of materials, and then I used these community service offenders, prisoners, and postal boys. They constructed that free. I've not incurred a cent from the judiciary. The only need I have is I do not have a toilet for people with a disability. If someone can donate for me a toilet for people who are crawling onto a dirty floor, people who come, leave the wheelchair and have to crawl with their hands, that is the only special request I have. Yes, we have covered, and that will also, and children. It will be people with disabilities and children only. The rest I'm working on that. And a nursing room. Nursing mothers, most of their children have been defiled. Their witnesses here, they've got nowhere to put their children. Yeah, so those are the only things I'm looking towards. The rest I've gotten donors now. Yes, a toilet for children and people with disabilities, that will be one toilet, and a room for nursing mothers, which will also hold the children. Yeah, the majority of the children who have been defiled, they are just here with these adults. But if I got a room, a special room for those ones, then my heart will be clean. I can now go home. That is all.